So here's my Husky 2200, 2 gallons per minute. And all I'm going to do is I'm hopefully trying to change the carb. It looks like a plastic version, but it's got what looks like a fuel tank right here. That looks like the air filter up on top. And there's one bolt there. Hoping that, and it looks like the carb is part of the fuel tank. So I gotta figure that out. Probably, first things first, I might have to take the top cover off to make things a little easy on this Husky pressure washer. So I'll start with taking the top 4 screws out and then work my way to the carb. So kind of remove the cover off. It's held in place by these what look like sheet metal screws. They're sort of like self-tapping as they go in there. So that came out easy. That's got the carb. That's a carb screw which houses the air filter. And once I probably take that off, the air filter will come out. And then I have this one large nut here. So I'm going to loosen this. Ooh, it's a fairly large size long nut. About them apples, oof. That would definitely do well with the cleaning. So I need to pay attention to this little spring going into that little hole and the choke coming into that large hole there. That's how they're held in place. So I had to remove the top cover here, which is held in place by a screw here, and another screw here. That's the top shroud. Once I remove the top shroud, this is the portion of the engine. Here's the spark sender and a whole 9 yards. Probably need to clean this a little more. But there was a giant screw here which held the gas tank and the carb directly. So this is one of those gas tanks where the carb is built into it, and so all I have to do is take it out, and voila, I had the I could remove the plastic carburetor body out completely in one shot. So I got a new one, and so what I'm going to do is try and see how I put that all together now. While I'm at it, I have access to some of the engine parts. I'm also going to clean it up. So this is the old carb. Looks pretty greased up and gunked up. Although the butterfly valve looks in decent shape. It's not like gunked up or anything. If you will see, barely any force on this. I'm able to turn it, so that looks like it's in good condition. And so all it is this whole area is now clean. Here's the engine, that's the pump, and I'm going to see if I can mount a new carb to it. It doesn't look that bad. Probably need to clean it up a little more, but hopefully I'll be able to put a new carb directly on it. So I was able to remove the old carb out. You can see everything in there. You can see the butterfly valve. It's got a plastic siphon that allows it to get gas from directly from the gas tank. Looks, you know, nearly decent, but I imagine it could get dirty and stuck. This is the old carb towards the bottom of the screen, and that's the new carb. Yeah, a lot of gunk on the old one, but it still wasn't that bad. But the new one is, I got it on eBay. It looks like a near identical fit, so hopefully that should make it run good. And it doesn't have a flexible intake hose. It's got something a little more rigid. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the new one in. Brand new, I got it from eBay. Comes with the gasket and the cover, and there's like a little spring in there. It looks pretty new. Hopefully when I mount it directly on top of the gas tank, it'll work well. So I was able to reattach those 5 screws and this new carb directly onto the gas tank. So that was fairly straightforward to do. You just have these 5 screws that you screw in. But you have to pay attention to, there's like a little spring there at the bottom, which I can show in the old car. See that little spring there? This has to be compressed along with the gasketing material on this gap, and then the whole assembly set down so that inside the tank, so that it'll be held in place with the gasket and all. So that's what I did. Next up, this is the top cover. It's freaking rusted, so all I'm going to do is run the wire wheel in it and clean it up and remove the rust. But before I do that, I'm probably going to be better off removing the oil and the dipstick, the oil funnel and the dipstick with these little sheet metal screws in there. Take it out, put a little bit of tape down there to cover the starter cord, and then all I need to do is probably run the wire wheel and clean it up. So now I've taped the top cover. I chose not to remove the oil feet there, so I'm just gonna hit it with my trusty wire wheel and try and clear out all the rust. So after I hit it with the wire wheel, I've done my best to clean it. There's still some more rust left. I think I should be able to remove that. This is what it looks like after you hit it with the wire wheel. I did it with a die grinder. So that was the rusty cover. We removed the rust a little bit, put a fresh coat of paint on it, so it looks relatively new. There's some sections here that are not exactly covered, but overall it's in a lot better place than where it started, so I'm happy with that. What I need to do is now start the assembly process back. So I've mounted the new carb. I need to run its bolt. I'm going to apply some anti-seize, mount the bolt, get that screw in, and there's one there. That should hopefully take care of the new carb. So we shall see when I fire it up. So I need to make a air filter. So this is the air filter cover that goes on top of my pressure washer. And so I need to make an air filter that will sit, I'm just taking a piece of sponge that I cut. I'm going to have to craft it in such a manner that it will sit on this space with a hole and everything like this. So what I'm going to do is, I saw this cool YouTube video where this guy took this and set it up and traced the contours, and all I have to do is make a little for this hole to fit in. See these projections to fit in, make a little cut over that hole, and that should enable me to cut this to size. So first thing I'm going to do is take a marker and trace the outline. And so After the marking, this is how it looks. And all I'm going to do is just cut it on the outlines just like that. And all I have to do is just cut the outline and just this central hole, and I should have an air filter. So let's try it out. And just like that, after a little bit of finagling and cutting it down with a pair of scissors, I was able to fashion the sponge. The hole's not perfect, but it'll work fairly well, because you can set it up like this and then jam it all in, and voila, you have your air filter that rides on top of your carb for the pressure washer. I'm going to call that a wrap, and hopefully it'll work well. That's how it looks after packed. I think that'll work. That is the old filter. This is the new one. So reasonably close. This is all completely chewed up. This is the one that I'm putting in its place. I might cut a little more of that surface, but it should work fine. So that was the air filter, and just mount it on top of the carb directly. The carb is directly mounted on the gas tank, and there's a little seal there. It's just a little gasket, so I just want to make sure that it's correctly set up on all sides. So I put the top cover, and now just have to screw the top cover into place. Hopefully that'll be an easy task.